A statement of work, or SOW, is a comprehensive, formal document that outlines the details of a project, providing a clear framework for execution, expectations, and deliverables. It is typically used in business, government contracts, and service agreements to define specific work that will be performed by the service provider for the client. The primary purpose of an SOW is to establish a mutual understanding between all parties involved about what is to be accomplished, when and how, in order to prevent any confusion or disputes during the project. The introduction section of the SOW provides an overview of the project, summarizing its purpose, goals, and any background information needed to understand the project context. It often includes the project's business objectives, scope, and overall goals that must be achieved. This section serves as a starting point for understanding the broader context within which the work will take place. The scope of work section is arguably the most critical part of the document, as it provides a detailed description of the tasks, services, or deliverables that the service provider will perform or provide. The scope outlines exactly what is included in the project and what is excluded, leaving no room for ambiguity. This section typically includes a clear list of activities, the materials or resources required, and any specific methodologies or processes that will be employed. It also defines the boundaries of the project to prevent scope creep, where additional unplanned work is added without proper agreement. Defining exclusions is just as important as defining inclusions, because it prevents the misunderstanding that certain tasks or deliverables might be included when they are not. The objectives section expands on the high-level goals by specifying the desired outcomes and the criteria for success. This section often includes performance indicators, quality expectations, and measurable results that both parties agree upon. For example, objectives might state that a project must be completed by a specific deadline or that a certain quality threshold must be met. This helps to ensure that the work aligns with the client's business goals and provides a basis for performance assessment. A timeline is another crucial component of the SOW, detailing the project's schedule and the deadlines for various phases, milestones, and deliverables. This section usually includes the start date, end date, and any critical milestones that must be achieved along the way. It may also include a detailed work breakdown schedule, WBS, that organizes the tasks into smaller, manageable components. Some SOs may incorporate Gantt charts or other visual tools to make the timeline clearer. The timeline helps to establish expectations about when work will be completed and when the client should expect to see results. It may also detail the review and feedback loops, outlining when the client must review deliverables or provide approvals before moving to the next phase. The responsibilities section outlines the specific duties of both the client and the service provider. This ensures that both parties understand their obligations and how they will contribute to the project. For example, the client might be responsible for providing data or access to necessary resources, while the service provider might be responsible for performing research, development, or testing. This section also defines who will manage and oversee the project on both sides, ensuring that there is a clear point of contact and accountability for any issues that arise during execution. The deliverables section provides a detailed list of the tangible or intangible items that will be delivered to the client upon completion of the project or certain project phases. Deliverables can include physical products, software, reports, training materials, or even strategic plans. For each deliverable, the SOW specifies the deadline for completion, any required format or specifications, and how the deliverable will be reviewed or approved. The deliverables section often includes details about acceptance criteria, the standards that must be met for the deliverable to be considered complete and acceptable. In addition to deliverables, the payment terms section details the financial arrangements between the parties. It specifies how much the service provider will be paid for their work, when payments will be made, and under what conditions. Payment can be structured in a variety of ways, including hourly rates, fixed fees, or milestone-based payments where the client makes payments based on the completion of specific project milestones. This section may also include information on how additional work outside of the agreed scope or change orders will be handled and billed, as well as terms regarding expenses, taxes, and any penalties for late payments. The acceptance criteria section is crucial to avoid disputes at the end of the project. This section defines the conditions under which the client will accept or reject the completed work or deliverables. It outlines the performance metrics, standards, or tests that the work must meet for the client to sign off on it. This might include testing phases, quality assurance processes, or reviews that ensure the project meets the defined requirements and objectives. In cases where the work does not meet the criteria, this section outlines the process for making revisions or corrections before final acceptance. The change management section, though not always included in every SOW, is important in projects where changes to the scope, timeline, or deliverables are expected or possible. This section explains how changes will be handled, including the procedures for submitting and approving change requests, as well as any potential impact on costs or timelines. This helps to prevent misunderstandings about how to handle any shifts or adjustments in the project's original parameters. The confidentiality and intellectual property section may also be included, particularly for projects that involve sensitive information or proprietary technology. It outlines who owns the intellectual property created during the project, what rights each party has regarding the use of the deliverables, and any confidentiality or non-disclosure agreements that must be adhered to during or after the project's completion. Lastly, the SOW ends with the signatures section, where both parties, typically the client and the service provider, sign to acknowledge that they agree with all the terms and conditions outlined in the document. The signatures bind both parties to the terms of the agreement and signify their commitment to fulfilling their respective roles and responsibilities. In some cases, the SOW might also include provisions for dispute resolution, such as arbitration or mediation in the event of disagreements during the project. In conclusion, a statement of work is a vital document that defines the work to be done, the expectations of both parties, and the parameters of the project. By clearly laying out every detail, such as objectives, timelines, deliverables, and payment terms, the SOW serves as a contract that aligns all parties involved and reduces the potential for conflicts. It is an essential tool for managing projects successfully and ensuring that both the client and service provider are clear about what will be delivered, when, and under what conditions.